So, greased pan, butternut squash, 350 preheating. It's going to cook for an hour to an hour and a half. Did this, washed and dry, cut down center next, scrape out seeds, toast and roast to snack on or to grill later. And then I've got sweet potatoes. They like $3.75. And so those go directly onto the rack with a drip pan underneath. And on the other side, I've got beets, which I'm not going to do because they require a cover in parchment paper. And I have parchment paper, but I don't have a lid at this pet sitting gig I'm at. Okay, that's what comes next. Okay, ever since I got my new knife set, everybody else's pales in comparison, but I've managed to get it almost. Scraping out seeds. This has got a nice amount of flesh. I was surprised with this one that it has less seeds than I thought, or less gook, I guess. Pumpkins. I guess that's why pumpkins are made into jack-o'-lanterns, because pumpkins have such a large, there are a lot of work, pumpkins are, with less flesh. That's why they make such good jack-o'-lanterns, because there's a large amount of them is already hollow. And this, on the other hand, does not have a large amount, and it's got a large amount of flesh, as you can see. So I'm thinking butternut squash is something to have on the regular. I will warn you that if you handle it with bare hands and you're sensitive, you can get contact dermatitis. I know this from experience, but I'm not a doctor, and that was not a prognosis or a diagnosis. You got to cover your butt in this litigious society. Everybody's so happy. But we had all those Karens back on film on YouTube on both sides of the belief system. Karens that wanted you to wear a mask. Karens that didn't want to wear a mask. Karens about everything. And it's really funny because the word Karen and caring. You're not Karen. You're caring. So I'm not going to scrape the heck out of it. I'm going to leave some of that fleshy stuff in there because I don't mind it. And who knows what nuances and flavors are in that stringy stuff. And I'm not presenting this to anybody but myself. So I'm not out to impress. And besides, I might just turn it into a soup later. Today I'm just going to roast them. So I have my pan. It is greased. And then I am going to use olive oil and do that to my butternut squash. And then I love cayenne pepper on everything. So we're going to make a little spice. And salt and pepper. Yes, yes, yes. This is a pepper machine. You can set it. I like it fine. Because I'm fine. I'm going to be massaging this later. And I'm going to get some more oil. And because I love it so much. Where's the salt? There it is. So at my house, it's not like this. It's dark. So we'll figure out a setup in my kitchen. When we go to Kat's kitchen, we're going to find out. It won't be a bitching session. It'll be a cooking session. So just plenty. I'm going to put it in the pan. Remove this out of your sights. I'll show you what I'm going to do. So this is what it looks like, but I'm going to oil it more. So more oil. And I pour it on. And I massage. So I'm massaging it. I'm massaging. So as I was saying, when I was at a garden in Virginia, I stuck with that narcissist in Virginia. You know the one, my guy. Because of the garden. I loved him, the garden more than I loved him, I realized. And the rabbit. There was a rabbit I used to go pet and feed. That was the sole survivor of the bunny plague. So that's going to be going in right now. And I'm going to take care of my fingers. So yeah, there was a bunny plague. I have been broken up again in 2018, I believe it was. No. Oh God, time flies. It was 2016 or 17. Because when I moved back to, anyway, this is a cook that also talks about her past narcissistic abuse. Hope you don't mind. But then you get over it. You get over it, and then life is good. So I'm going to pop this into the oven. But it's important to talk about because there are going to be people who don't know what the fuck they're dealing with. Narcissists aren't normal. Okay, then the timer. Narcissists are not normal. They are awful human beings, and they hate themselves, and they make your life living hell. Our butternut squash is baking, and I just cut up these onions to bake along with the beets. And essentially, I'm going to actually use this. So what I used was garam masala. It has cinnamon and cardamom. So salt and pepper. Sorry for that loud noise. This is it right here. So in this book, Vivian Howard's, she's got the instructions for sweet potatoes. Basically, it's 400 degrees Fahrenheit oven, preheated. And you get a baking sheet, pan or whatnot, and you line it with parchment paper, and then you put your potatoes in for 45 minutes plus. They'll smell good. And then you can use them in all kinds of other recipes or eat them as is. So I'm going to be doing that as well, and they're all washed and ready to go. Okay. There. Spices, which could be anything. Coriander, black pepper, cumin, cardamom, and cinnamon. So you can make your own and be assured it's not MSG, because they can actually, spices can mean anything nowadays. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to toss this like this. Give it a little more oil. Toss it some more. And then let me show you what I have done. Oops. With the beets. So I will rub these later. But right now I'm handling the phone, aka the camera. So here's my baking sheet, parchment paper, and well-spaced potatoes. And then I'll figure out what I'm going to do with pecans, dinosaur kale, and I'm going to saute all the greens together, most likely. Isn't this exciting? So find out what the butternut squash is doing soon. Let's see how many more minutes. 5. So butternut squash is out. And I am going to simply give it a nice oil down before I stab it with a fork to keep it moist. And then that way, it'll also continue to bake in the dish with wonderful flavors. So fork goes right in perfectly. That's going to be fork tender is what you're looking for. Spoon the juices over the entire thing, and then let it cool in the pan before consuming or creaming. I tried it. It's absolutely delicious, and I cut the cup out of this one. Easily peeled off its skin. It's right here. And now I am going to drizzle it with just a little bit of olive oil, because why not? And this right here is going to go on it. It is a very small amount of condensed, reduced, aged balsamic. So it's cooked grape must and wine vinegar. So good. But I can't take that off right now with one hand. And then I've got some pecans that I'll just put in there too. And there we have it. So do you want to see it? Let me see if I can make it. Oh goodness, this is one of the best dishes I've ever had. And it was just simple. The butternut squash, halved and baked until tender, about an hour and a half. Peeled off the skin easily. Raw cheddar cheese, aged balsamic vinegar drizzled. Ah, yum. Local pecans. And the local food is the squash and the pecan. Yum, 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 everyone. Yum, this is like such a good dish. But what we did is we had so many butternut squash, because these things really do produce, that we were cutting them and making pickles out of them. And we cubed them while they were fresh out of the garden. Now these skins, they're trying to protect the fruit. And that's what happens with other vining gourds and squashes, such as winter squash. And I actually have a scar right there from when I received a chemical burn from, I was going in there and trimming the blossoms. There were too many male squash blossoms. And that was also, there were too many men there at the narcissist house pontificating and being ineffectual as kind human beings and effective at being bombastic. So anyway, I learned a thing or two about butternut squash, and I realized the best way to do it is to have it and bake it, and with herbs and spices, oils, salt and pepper, and then you can peel it easily and not worry about getting a chemical burn or itchy fingers or peeling hands. That is a very possible thing. So we will check on what we have in the oven later. So onions are in, temperature went to 400, and I'm gonna give them a little bit of time before I'm gonna give them a half an hour on their own. They take about 45 minutes before I put the beets in. Come on, 2 more. 1, 2, start. All right. Okay, those onions are right there. And what I did was tilt the container it was baked in to drain the excess oil, and removed the other half of the quarter, the other half of the half, and put it over the onions so that everything stays warm and baking and doesn't dry out, and they marry each other's juices. And isn't that sexy? They marry each other's juices, and then what I'll do is allow that to cook, and this will become moister because it's going to continue cooking more than this one. So this half will be nice and tender for reheats and reeats. If I had a partner, which I don't, that would be his. And this right here then would be the same sort of deal. I would be able to put that into a quick dish oil. It could be used to thicken tomato sauces. You guys, I am going to take you places with my butternut squash dish. So here's Simon. And here's Ricky. Happy Thanksgiving, you guys. So Simon and Ricky, they have a mom, a human, that has great taste in cooking. She's very good at cooking. Ooh, I like the looks of this one. Anchovy cheese circles. 10 pumpernickel bread slices, a 5-ounce jar Old English cheese spread, or a homemade one. 2 teaspoons horseradish, that would be real. 5 anchovy fillets cut into strips, and 5 pimento olives sliced. Using 2-inch square round cookie cutter, 2-inch round cookie cutter, cut 2 circles from each pumpernickel bread slice. In small bowl, mix cheese spread and horseradish. Spread some mixture on each circle. Top with strip of anchovy fillet and an olive slice. So this book is magnificent. I'm going to look for it. What's the ISBN? The ISBN. Does it have an ISBN? Oh my goodness. It might be one of the, oh, here it is. ISBN. ISBN 0878510370. Because there's more to see. I mean, they have this whole thing on how to cook shellfish. And there's a whole stuffed cabbage. You guys, this world of food I'm getting into, I'm so excited. It's better than a romance with a man. It's a romance with yourself. Okay, everyone, I've been working on my cooking skills as far as creating a delicious time in the kitchen so that I have good food at the ready and a fragrant house that smells so good. So I'm kitty sitting and having a wonderful Thanksgiving, and I wish you all well for the happy Thanksgiving too. And if this doesn't post until after Thanksgiving, then have yourself a Merry Christmas, and we'll report back in too then. I am having a good time. You know, when I was with that narc in Virginia, every holiday, except for the very first one when he was love bombing me, every single holiday had some sort of drama. Oh, and it's so nice to be in this peaceful, content place, a place of contentment, learning how to relax, unwinding the tension that I have lodged in the kidney area. And we are going forward with our upliftment of ourselves. And this is my share channel. This is my share channel. I get to do whatever I want as long as I still have a YouTube station. And then if I don't, I'd go over to BitChute. But you know what? BitChute's not as fun, so I suppose I'd have to do Rumble. So if I disappear, look for Cat Woodland on Rumble. But I'm not being controversial. So why would I disappear? I'm not disappearing. Ta-da! That's how the yams turned out. And I had a hankering for a fresh pepper. Isn't that beautiful? And look what we have happening right here. We're searing. Ah. Yes, yes, yes. So the way to test these, you can see that they have this delightful ooze coming out, and they're also puffy. And I'm gonna let them sit there and set, and then they wrinkle. And over here, I over roasted the butternut squash seeds, but they turned out black, and I put them into a brown paper bag. The same one I'm using to wipe on the inside of this pan. And I'm just delighted with the result. I gotta press that. Oh. So I'm gonna take off so I can cook my meat right. I think everything came out pretty nice. This is what the yam looked like inside. Oh, it's purple. And that's the other half of the steak with olive oil and au jus. And so my meal is created. And I'm not going to show it to you because it's private. But may you have had a wonderful holiday meal at some point. And if you wanted to follow along, that was a tenderloin steak from a local farmer. And I will talk more about what I did in the future. Should you be interested, just ask. But, you know, it's the typical cast iron saute both sides, stick in the oven, and increments of 5 minutes, testing to desired wellness. Salt, pepper, things like that. And I did one with Worcestershire sauce to finish, and the other one with just pepper. It already had enough salt. And the cayenne was a nice touch. So, bon appetit, salud, santé, be well, cheers, and we will connect again.